I applied for the Alms Group grant because in August, when we got the rundown of what the classroom was going to look like, what teaching art was going to look like, what hybrid was going to look like, the final thing we learned is that you couldn't share any supplies. And not being able to share supplies in an art classroom was pretty devastating. It was a big blow. And giving kids an opportunity to explore different mediums, whether that be markers or watercolors or oil pastels or crayons or pencils or scissors, we need all of those things, and kids need those opportunities to do that. And so I started thinking about the kinds of materials that I could disinfect, and oil pastels was not one of them. And so I reached out to some community members and was put in touch with the Alms Group and was able to fund K6 oil pastels. So everybody received an art kit, and in that kit had oil pastels, and it's given us the opportunity this year to explore and have these hands-on experiences at school. So the oil pastels served us in a lot of different ways. We learn about art history and artists who utilize pastels, but really it serves as a great tool, especially at K3, when they're learning a lot of those fine motor skills. Having something bigger to grip, something that creates a texture when you press it, you have the ability to explore values, you have the ability to blend and concoct. And I love the technique when you use watercolor with oil pastels and you use it as a resist. And so that helps kids define lines and make creative expression that's a little more refined. And so I really enjoy that about pastels. We've used them both by choice and then guided lessons through me. I think during COVID especially, we all turned to the arts. We turned to music, we turned to visual arts, we turned to performing arts. When we were isolated, we were filling our time, we were looking for connection, and I think art bridges that gap for people. It gives us a way to identify feelings and emotions and put them out into the world, communicate them in a way that maybe we didn't feel possible. And so giving kids these additional supplies at home gave them those opportunities to express and communicate and really identify the way that they were feeling through COVID, and not just kids. I think if you asked any adult, the things that they turned to, I don't know who all Netflixed binged and who was creating and doing projects at their house, but those are all creative outlets and ways that we were trying to understand what was happening to us as a nation, as a world. And so being able to give kids that opportunity to communicate was really important for me.